A group of hikers were climbing the rocks when one of them took a photo of their view. They shared it with their family, showing how challenging the hike had been. Then the family asked, who was that third person behind the rock? The photographer zoomed in and froze. They were sure they had been alone. It was quiet and absolutely no one had been seen. Yet a man appeared in the photo. Was someone secretly stalking them? Or was it something else? Finn Kinney was a 33-year-old survival expert from the Pitcairn area of Scotland. He ran a wilderness school called Wildcat Bushcraft, where he taught kids everything from foraging to shelter building. On March 25, 2022, Finn was dropped off near Loch Naver in Sutherland. His plan was simple: hike 45 miles south to the village of Gillespie, film the journey, and turn it into a bushcraft video. His family expected the trip to take more than a day, so when he didn't reach his destination right away, there wasn't much concern. But then, 3 days passed. Every call went to voicemail, and there was still no sign of Finn. On day 3, his father reported him missing. Police spent months searching the area around Loch Naver, but found nothing. No gear, no tracks, no clues. It was as if Finn had disappeared without a trace. Even after the official search ended, Finn's father never gave up. For 19 months, he searched the loch himself. Then, finally, he found something. Finn's backpack, partially hidden in the bushes along the bank of Loch Naver. He never shared what was inside, but the discovery made the family believe Finn might have tried to cross the loch and drowned. After searching the waters for months, his family finally made the painful decision to stop, to accept that Finn was gone. But online, many weren't convinced. Why would an experienced survivalist try to swim across a freezing Scottish loch, especially with miles still left to hike? Theories began to spread. Some suggested he tried to fake his own death. Others feared he may have gone into the water intentionally, and some believe that someone took his life. But with no evidence, no body, no witnesses, no confirmed explanation, the truth remains unknown. A group of 5 stayed in a cottage near the Blackhead Lighthouse in County Antrim, Northern Ireland in 2008. One of them took this picture late at night. The woman in the white top was one of the guests, and nothing seemed strange when the photo was taken. But once they went back inside, they realized something else had been captured: a tall, dark figure standing behind her. Only the woman and the photographer had stepped outside, and the figure didn't look like anyone from their group. The photo was taken after 11 p.m, a time when no one walks there without a torch. Online, some believe the figure could be the spirit of a former lighthouse worker. Who knows? A Reddit user was hiking to a treehouse loft in a Missouri forest when they came across something strange. A pair of double doors standing in the middle of the woods, with nothing built around them except a boardwalk. The directions said to walk through the doors to reach the loft, but the user immediately felt uneasy. People often talk about never stepping through random doors or doorways in the forest, since in folklore they're said to act like dark portals or thresholds to something else. So they decided to walk past it instead. There was no sign explaining why the doors were there or what they were for, so they filmed it, hoping to figure it out later. Would you walk through them? A man was exploring an old abandoned house deep in the woods. After only a few steps inside, he heard loud banging coming from one of the rooms. Curious, he walked toward the sound, trying to see what was going on. But when he reached the spot, he froze.
Bismillah. Bismillah. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. لا إله إلا الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله. بسم الله. لا إله إلا الله. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. لا إله إلا الله. لا 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 لا. لا إله إلا الله. بسم الله. لا 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 لا.
Could this really have been something paranormal, or was it just a cleverly staged hoax? While trying to find a spot to camp for the night, a man stumbled upon a surprising sight in the middle of the woods. A bright Christmas tree covered in colourful lights. When they looked closer, a small solar setup seemed to be powering it. As festive as it looked, it also felt eerie. There were no houses, paths, or people around. The camper didn't feel comfortable knowing someone might be nearby, so he left to go home. He still wonders, who placed it there, and why? In Kentucky, locals tell of a man who killed his wife and child after discovering her affair. Since then, drivers claim they've seen a child spirit wandering that same road at night. One van camper's dashcam recently caught a small figure standing by the roadside. Others who drive that route say they've seen this same figure, sometimes right in the middle of the road. Some even say their vehicles pass straight through it, like mist. But no one has ever captured it quite like this before. On Halloween night 2022, Rick camped alone in a remote wooded area near his home, known for strange activity. While filming near an old church, he saw someone standing close to his camera.
Bye, church. The hell is that? Hang on. Did you see that? Or was that just me? There's my gimbal. I left my gimbal there. Swear. Goodness me. Oh, there was someone standing there. There was someone standing right here. I swear to God, there was someone standing right here by my gimbal.
He grabbed his gear and returned to his van. Later, the footage confirmed a figure near the fence. Around 1 a.m., someone tried the van's doors.
What is it? 1 o'clock in the morning. And I swear blind, I just got woken up by someone trying the van door handles. There was a knock. There was definitely a knock. Someone was trying the van door handles as well. I'm going to turn the lights out. Someone was trying the van door handles. Okay. I heard a car pull up. There's definitely a car pulled up outside. I'm gonna have a look. Well, that was weird. I opened the van doors and then within a minute there was a car reversing up and it's just driven off. So it's all quiet out there now, so I'm just going to try and get myself back to sleep.
A car pulled up but drove away when Rick turned on the lights. At 2:15 a.m, the same vehicle came back.
Right, it's happening again. I can't believe this. Let me turn the lights on. I've heard that car come back at its spot. 2:45 now. That van's come back, well, that car's come back. That 4x4 vehicle. I can't hear anyone. I can't hear anyone talking outside. There we go. Right. Literally haven't slept. This. I am going home. They've driven off again. I didn't even look out. I just peered through my curtains that I've got up. Through the curtains there, I can see outside, and it's driven off again. I don't know if this is anywhere I shouldn't be parked, but I'm going. I'm not staying here anymore.
He left immediately. It wasn't a ghost that night. It was someone stalking him in the dark. Reddit user RoyalGoat696987 was enjoying a night with family around a fire at the end of Hatteras Island in the Outer Banks. But when they snapped a photo, it showed something unsettling. A dark figure appeared near the fire, even though no one was standing there, and no one in the family owned shoes like the ones visible in the image. The user still has no idea what the camera captured in the background, but it feels wrong. A construction worker chose to sleep inside a small, unused structure at his site. He spread a sheet on the concrete floor and tried to rest. Later that night, he felt something slide into his shorts. He looked down and saw a snake curled inside his clothes. He stayed completely still and managed to call for help. When the emergency team arrived, they worked slowly so the snake wouldn't react. They carefully pulled it out without hurting him.
โอเคบอสค่อยๆนิ่งๆเลยนะมันเลื้อยที่ไม่ต้องขยับนะนิ่งสุดๆครับนิ่งสุดๆครับรับรองปลอดภัยไม่ได้เอาไปซิงด้วยไม่เป็นไรนี่อย่าขยับเลยนะแม้กระทั่งงอมาก็อย่าขยับอย่าเพิ่งขยับนะครับใจเย็นๆห้ามขยับโอเคพี่ค่อยๆพลิกตัวมาค่อยๆพลิกตัวมาค่อยๆพลิกตัว
He got out unharmed, shaken, and fully aware of how close he came to danger. A man went camping deep in a quiet forest for some rest. Late at night, his camera picked up something he hadn't noticed earlier. A figure appeared in the footage. The clip spread quickly, since no one could clearly explain the shape. But some said it looked like a pokong from Indonesian folklore. But the reason I doubt the story is because he seems to notice it at the time, zooming in specifically on the being. If that's true, shouldn't he be more scared? A family was on a camping trip near the beach when they took this photo of their kid smiling. At first, nothing seemed unusual, but hours later, when they checked the picture again, they froze. Right in front of him stood a person wearing a face mask, staring directly at the camera. They hadn't seen anyone at the time, likely because it was pitch black outside. But in the photo, it looked like someone had been standing right there all along, close enough to hear their conversations. They couldn't deny this person looked a little sketchy. What were they doing there? What were their intentions? The family was freaked out, wondering what could have happened if they had stayed there any longer. On October 8th, 2025, Kevin from the Small Plots channel set out for a camping trip and chose a spot right beside Mount Hope Cemetery in Rochester, one of the most haunted locations in upstate New York. He set up his tent near the old cemetery, confident that nothing strange would happen. But after dinner, things escalated.
I wish I could get more footage of the cemetery and everything, but even despite the fact that it's like 1 day away, maybe a gunshot, despite the fact that it was 1 day away, that it's 1 day away from a full moon, it's too dark to film. Yeah, well, like I said, middle of the city, so I can't get the graveyard like I was hoping. I'm trying so hard to catch the almost full moon good enough to hit some gravestones or something, but yeah, and it's tough. I can't really leave and go walk around the graveyard, as much as I'm sure people are probably hoping that I'm doing that. It's just not really, especially with that camera right there. Can't really do that. It's kind of like a journey to get there, if I'm being honest. It's not like just a bloop over. Okay. Yeah, see, so I've been quiet for so long, but now I have a light on and I'm talking, and little animals that are around me are like, hey, there's a guy there. They're not ghosts. Let me just clear this up right now. They're not ghosts. They're like little mice and rats and whatever.
Out of nowhere, he heard gunshots echoing through the night. Moments later, footsteps began moving near his camp.
There's something walking closer to me. It's probably a deer, but I'm gonna do something just in case it's not. Okay, it stopped walking, whatever it was. It didn't run away. I'm just gonna go with it. It's a deer. Oh man, I thought that was a deer's butt at first. Before I zoomed in, I thought that was a deer facing the other way. Yeah, well, this is what it's like here, next to the cemetery. You know, it's pretty chill. A lot of cool chill things happening. Just like Mondo chill, you know? I know you can't really see it. There's something in the cemetery making like a, I know this is gonna sound stupid, but like a bone clattering sound. Like tick, 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 tick. Like somebody has like a bunch of sticks in a wagon or something.
Eventually, Kevin decided to stay inside his tent for the rest of the night, hoping whatever was out there would pass by. By morning, he was safe, but shaken, and he packed up and left the place as fast as he could. A group of campers stood right on the rally track where a car was about to pass, until a helicopter signaled the approaching car. The people got out of the way just in time. The crowd seemed unaware of the risk, which makes it hard to understand why there weren't any barriers. What if they had only noticed a second later? Late one night in rural Malaysia, a man was returning to his camp on a lonely dirt road. He suddenly felt like something was watching him from the dark trees around him.
Sebuah jin, seekor. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
A moment later, a pale figure rushed out of the woods and moved straight toward him. Shocked, he sped away, thinking he had just seen a pokong, a spirit from Indonesian and Malay folklore. People say a pokong is the soul of someone buried with its shroud still tied at the head, neck, and feet. If these ties aren't released after 40 days, the spirit is believed to remain trapped. But it looks a little odd to me, the way it moves, almost like it doesn't belong in the footage. What do you think? Is it edited? Is it a pokong? Or do you have another explanation? Jason from the channel Exploring Intuition camped alone deep inside Shawnee State Forest in April 2020. Not long after he arrived, a sudden gunshot shattered the quiet.
Hey guys, so I was just getting set up here and I heard some gunshots off in the distance and some people. It's kind of far off, but you know, the people I can handle. This is a public area after all. Gunshots not so much, you know. I'm hoping those just stay where they're at, but I'm gonna continue setting up camp and have a quiet evening, hopefully.
He stayed put and kept setting up his camp, trying not to panic.
You hear that? It's a coon dog, I think. That noise I've been hearing, I think it's people out doing some coon hunting. I think, even though it's kind of early in the day to be doing some coon hunting, I think normally you do that at night, but I'm not an expert. That's what it sounds like to me. Hopefully they don't come back this way, but if they do, I guess they do. We'll have to deal with it. They won't find no coons around here because I've been scaring them away. I'm not sure that's coon dogs now that I hear it. Hope that's not coyotes. Well, I am armed just in case, so I guess we'll see what happens. Part of the fun of being out in the wilderness by yourself.
As the sun went down, he worked on building a fire, when he heard this.
Those sound more like wild dogs to me. I don't know what they're going on about. They sound like they're just on the other end of the holler, so I hope they stay there. One dog's not too bad to deal with, but 8 or 9, that could be a problem. Almost time to do some cooking. Fire's taking a while to burn down, that wood's a little wet.
Jason tried to stay calm and went on making dinner, but the noises came back again.
Well, it sounds like those dogs are getting closer. I might have some trouble tonight. I may have to stop cooking. Who would have thought of all the things you're going to have to deal with in the woods, it's going to be wild dogs. Well, it sounds like the dogs have started to go the other way, and I'm thankful for that. But now I'm starting to lose my fire because I was too preoccupied perhaps dealing with them to work on my fire. Well, it looks like this fish is done, so I'm going to dig in. Well, the more I listen, the more I think that those are hunting dogs and somebody's out training them. Because I can hear the guy down there now hollering for him to come back or something like that. For a minute he was doing a whoop and it freaked me out because I don't know if you guys watch any other videos on YouTube, but when you're in the middle of the woods and you hear a whoop, that's normally time to get out of the woods, but so far so good.
Thankfully, nothing bad happened that night. A woman and her friend were at a park at their campsite when they took this photo. But when they looked at it, they noticed someone standing far behind her, a pale person in a suit right in the center of the frame. They immediately looked around but saw no one. Feeling unsafe, they ran back to their campsite and warned others. As much as I want to believe they're telling the truth, something about the figure looks like it was added into the picture. Do you agree? A man was on a trip in Japan when he recorded something odd in the sky. He saw a bright orange orb moving downward with a steady glow. It didn't blink like a plane or a drone. As it dropped, the light grew stronger before it disappeared behind the trees. A few seconds later, an identical orb followed the same path. It had the same color, shape, and silent motion. People dismissed fireworks or lanterns because the lights were too steady and bright, while some think it might be a rare, natural event. A man was camping in his van when a storm started, and he captured this spectacular footage. But could this be edited? Storms often form strange outlines in the sky, and a bit of editing can make them look dramatic. Or is this all real? YouTuber Rody, a solo hiker from the US, headed into the High Sierras on May 10th, 2018. He set up camp, cooked his dinner, and settled into his tent as the last light faded. The forest grew silent, and he tried to get some sleep. Moments later, he was jolted awake by this.
This guy's been yelling for the last few minutes. Pretty sure it's a mountain lion and not a fox.
A sharp call echoing through the darkness. Rody stayed inside his thin tent until morning. When daylight finally returned, the forest looked calm again.
It's like 6:30 in the morning right now. It's freezing out. But check out this. Got some ice forming on my tent. Pretty much after I crawled in last night, the snow stopped. It wasn't that bad, but it was definitely cold. Also, it was super cool to hear that mountain lion last night. Just reminds you that they're out here. Got the chills going down my spine though, for sure. I don't know what these are. Maybe mountain lion, because you can see it looks like it's walking kind of the way a cat does, the feet close together. Who knows? These look like they've been here for a while.
But on the ridge above his camp, fresh, large paw prints were stamped into the soil. The animal had been close. YouTuber A Tiny Nomad is a solo traveler who documents her car camping adventures across Alaska. On October 29th, 2025, her original camping plans fell through. So she ended up spending the night in a Russian Orthodox cemetery in Anchorage, a place known for its bright, colourful spirit houses. When she parked near the old chapel, a motion-activated light suddenly switched on, even though nothing had moved.
You guys, I'm not making this up right now, but there's a light in front of the church, and when you walk past the light, it turns on. I know, because I walked over there 2 times to look at the cemetery, and now I'm in my car, and it's flicked on 2 times. It's not windy outside. It could be an animal, I guess. I did hear something in the bushes as well when I was looking at one of the tombstones. I don't know if that's what you call them, because they're not stones, but you know what I mean. There's no way I'm going to be able to sleep tonight here. I'm going to try, though. I do not like how that light keeps turning on and off. I'll show you what I'm talking about. There's a light that lights up the front of the church. And there it goes. It's turned on twice since I've come back.
Later, while reading about spirit houses and their connection to the afterlife, the light turned on again.
I decided to Google what the name of those colorful boxes are. They're not tombstones, and they actually call them spirit houses. How cool is that? But how not cool is it, right when I was Googling about the spirit houses, the light in front of the church turned on again. Are the spirits trying to say something, you guys? Seriously. I was just reading a little bit more about the spirit boxes, and they symbolize shelter for the departed soul in the afterlife. Right as I read that sentence, of course, that light turned on again. Of course it could mean nothing, but it could mean something.
There was no wind, no passing cars, no animals, nothing that could have triggered it. Feeling uneasy, she stayed inside her car, watching the light flick on and off throughout the night. She tried to get some rest, but the light just wouldn't stop.
Every tiny little noise is freaking me out at this point, and that damn light will not stop going on and off. I'm gonna have to just ignore everything and try to lay down and fall asleep. Oh, jeez Louise. Why do I do this to myself? It's only one night, Gina. One night, that's it.
When morning finally came, the light stayed off, and she decided she wasn't going to stay there any longer. And for more encounters, check out this next one.